in your own affidavit, you used the word manipulation of results. So was that the request?
The suggestion came from Vice Chair Juliana Cherera that we should make those votes become rejected ballots, and I believe that the word manipulation comes from there.
And when you go down, you then said, it appeared that they had a pre-arranged consensus towards altering the results. And the words I need explanation is, or you need to explain to the tribunal rather, is why you use the word they had a pre-arranged consensus, and then altering the results.
That is paragraph?
Paragraph 78, third last line. The one that's, you see it? Where there's a name, yes. Francis Wanderi?
Yes, because the four from the historical, the meeting we had earlier in the night, then this other meeting, and they were singing talking in same wording. They all supported the views of the visitors. I think that's what informed this opinion.
This was your opinion?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Then I've quickly moved, because I need to finish, to paragraph 80. You say that you did a reminder. And why were you reminding them of whereas they had taken an oath of office?
Because I reminded my commissioners that we had taken an oath of office to comply with the Constitution and the laws of the land, and that the sovereign will of the people cannot be changed. We must announce the results as declared, and then we proceeded to do so.
Then paragraph 81, you walked out.
Yes.
And just explain what transpired as you walked out.
So the only conversation in that room when the results came was this: can we look at a way of changing this result? That was the only conversation. There was no other conversation.
And was Commissioner Irene Masit part of it?
Yes.
All right. Then after that?
After that, I said, since we have the result, we have we have clear results from that 4C is complete. Let's proceed and finalize the process.
Yes.
Of declaration. And that's then I stood up and said, join me, and we proceed to finalize, because we had already given a time for declaration of results at 3 p.m. and the auditorium was full. Kenyans were waiting.
Kenyans were waiting.
Yes.
And after that, did you, were there any constituencies that were remaining for announcement?
Any?
The constituency results remaining at the time?
Yes, there were 27 constituency results which had not been announced, and the team agreed that Professor Gulia will be doing those announcements.
Now, did you then go and were they announced?
Did we?
Go to the auditorium, and were these 27 results from the 27 announced?
The 27 constituency results were not announced, because when we went to the auditorium, Professor Gulia was to announce them before we do the final declaration, but chaos erupted and we could not proceed with that exercise.
You could not proceed with that exercise?
Yes.
And after the chaos, as the time the chaos erupted, were you all there?
Was I?
Were all commissioners present?
When we walked to the auditorium for the final phase, only I and two commissioners, Professor Gulia and Commissioner Molu, and the CEO went down. We left the other 4 commissioners behind in the boardroom. They didn't want to join us.
They did not want. Was there a reason?
I don't know why they didn't want to come, but I believe it was in line with the discussion we had, that we had not acceded to their wish to moderate the results.
To moderate the results.
Yes.
You then went to the auditorium,
Yes.
and there's something that happened there.
Some?
You did not immediately announce even the final.
There was a legal requirement that we have to share results with the agents of presidential candidates.
Yes. Yes.
And
paragraph 82 is talks about that. Yes.
And we invited the agents then to come and go through the results and sign against Form 34C, which we did, and then thereafter we proceeded to the auditorium.
Now, but you talk about 3 or 4, paragraph 82 signing. Paragraph 82, the third line.
Yeah, one of the agents refused to sign, Mr. Saitabao Kanchori, chief agent for Azimio la Umoja One Kenya. He said that he needs to be given the results of all the polling, the entire Form 34C. I needed a few days to go through it.
A few days, and by the law, how many days were remaining based on the timeline?
The timeline for declaration of presidential results is 7 days, and that was on the 6th day.
This was the 6th day?
Yes.
Now, does the law envisage such a situation? Could you still proceed to make a declaration when one refuses?
Yes, in matters election, right from the polling station, the presiding officer can, the result is not invalidated by failure of an agent to sign.
It's not invalidated?
Yes.
Right. Now, we go to 83, you've talked about that, I'll not go there. We go to 84, so that I need to finish. 84, you talk about going to the podium. Kindly explain.
So we walked to the auditorium.
Yes.
I and the commissioners present and CEO and the team. And immediately I sat down. The whole team of people now rushed to the pavilion and accosted us.
Now, because this is an unprecedented situation, the arrangement at the podium, who had prepared it? The sitting arrangement?
The arrangement was done by us. We remember head committees.
Yes.
One of the committees, security, and the other one for the tallying center. So all this was done by the commission, but we don't manage security. Security is managed by the National Police Service. So, but then everybody rushed to where we were, where I was seated with the commissioners, and the next thing we saw was chaos.
It was chaos?
Yes.
And during the chaos, I know you've talked about being injured. I will not go there. Something interesting happened about, as related to where Commissioner Masit was. Can you explain that? Yeah.
After the security was overrun and we managed to scamper to safety, back into the holding room. And in the holding room, we discovered Professor Guli had been injured, was bleeding. And Marijan also had injuries on the head, he was bleeding. I and Commissioner Molu had suffered some injuries, but not so serious. When we settled down, then we saw there was the meeting of 4 commissioners at Serena.
You are chairman of a commission?
Yes.
And you are saying you are injured?
Yes.
Right. I just want to take very few seconds to play a clip, Mr. Chair and members, so that we just play it once, and then I ask the next question.
Okay.
Okay. As you can see,
we can pause a bit, just a bit. Now, that is the point, and you are saying you are entered, right? Now flow to the split screen. Were you, as a commission, was it part of the split screen so that you are separated? How did it happen that you were in two groups of commissioners?
I did not know how the four commissioners led by Juliana Cherera, Vice Chair, ended up in what we came to know is Serena. It had nothing to do with what the activities we were doing at the Bomas.
Nothing to do?
Yes.
Now, paragraph 85. You talk of reluctance, but that's not to do with commission?
Paragraph
85.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the commission, does it?
Initially, we had a lot of meetings, the layout of how many police officers should be in the auditorium, how many outside. But at that point in time, on the further review of all these videos, there were almost no police officer in uniform in the auditorium. So it's like it appears they had been withdrawn.
All right. Now, let's not go about the police.
Yes.
About this statement at Serena, where was Irene Masit at Serena?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Was the commission part of the statement? Was it part of what you had decided? What was said there? And I'll not want to play it here.
What was at Serena and what was said there was completely not sanctioned by the commission.
And is it before or after you made the final declaration?
This happened before we made it. Remember, we went into the auditorium to make the declaration, but because of the chaos, we could not do it. And so the statement happened before we made the declaration.
All right. I'll ask, we play I'll finish in less than 5 minutes. If you can play that first part, I'll ask the last question and we move.
Conducted the 2022 general election, and we have ensured that we have improved the standards, and we have ensured that we have consistently communicated what is happening. We have partnered with all stakeholders, and we say it for a fact that as the commission, we have done a good job. But some things need to be put out there. As you can see, the four of us, we are here, not at Bomas of Kenya, where the result is going to be announced, because of the opaque nature of how this case has been handled. We therefore cannot take ownership on the results that is going to be announced. However, we have an open door that people can go to court, and because of the same, we urge Kenyans to be peaceful, because the rule of the law is going to prevail.
Thank you very much. If you look at the petition by Reverend Tumbi, he talks about the statement, the opaque nature of how the results had been handled, and they cannot take ownership.
Yes.
Were the commissioners part and parcel, or was your view of what about that statement? How do you respond to that?
The statement of results being opaque, in my view, was totally dishonest. Commissioners were part and parcel of the results, verification and tallying, and I believe we ran the most transparent election ever in the history of this country.
Now, last is paragraph 86.
Yes.
Paragraph 86, where you say that the 4 commissioners had fled the tallying center and the remaining 2, then you went to say, I was apprehensive that there would be no opportunity to declare results and the country could slide into crisis. Why did you say that in the affidavit?
The events on that day was we walked into the auditorium, and then we had the 4 commissioners telling the country that what I was going to announce is opaque. Then there was a possibility that if we don't finalize the exercise, there was tension in the country that time. And we felt it's prudent that the exercise be finalized.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Yes.
So, Chair and members, thank you for the time. I'll hand him over to Mr. Kipkorir.
Yes, Council.
Mr. Chairman Emeritus, you know there are 2 chairmen here. We have His Lordship, Mr. Michelula, and then we have Chairman Chebukati.
Yes.
Your entire testimony is about respect of the Constitution, the rule of law, and all those platitudes. Position I share, Mr. Chairman. So, and basically your testimony is that the incident of 15th of August by the 4 commissioners was such a violation of the law that warrants them to be impeached. Is that your position, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, that's what I've stated.
So at least, so the action of 15th of August is such that they ought to be impeached. So well, in a summary, just in summary, so what law did Ms. Irene Masit break on 15th of August that makes you think she ought to be removed from as a commissioner?
What law did she breach?
Yeah, what wrong or what law? Why do you have the position that she ought to be removed as a commissioner?
I think the issue of removing or not removing lies with the tribunal and this process.
We agree on that position,
Yes,
but your
yes.
position, because
yeah, but when you have, we had commissioners who had been with us for close to a year, taken them through the process of elections, arranged the election together. We even tightened what was a problem in 2017. We make it even better. We had results on the portal. We had, they participated in tallying and verification. And then here we have these 2 incidents on the morning of 15th and in the afternoon where they are saying we need to look at these results. That goes against the oath of office, which we took, ascribed to, and also the Constitution. And have in mind Article 81 and 249 of the Constitution, that we are expected as election managers then to uphold the will of the people. And this for those reasons that I feel, or rather state that Commissioner went outside her oath of office.
So before, if there was no incident of 15 August, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and the press conference, I don't know what time the press conference was, you wouldn't have had a problem with Commissioner Irene Masit. You didn't have did you have a complaint prior to 15 of August?
No, I had no. There was also the Supreme Court case where the commissioners saw affidavits against the commission. But aside from that, I had no problem with Commissioner Masit.
No,
we worked together very well in the commission.
So you understand, Chairman?
Yes.
The petition before the tribunal surrounds the events of 15th of August. 15th of August, don't forget that. So I'm saying prior to 15th of August, the affidavits were filed by the way after, and they will deal with the affidavits later on. But I'm saying prior to 15th of August, did you have any complaint against Commissioner Irene Masit?
Any complaint?
Yes.
No.
That warranted her to be removed as a commissioner?
There wasn't. There wasn't except what was outside the commission.
In fact, like, just to refresh your memory, you actually nominated Irene Masit to be the chair of Leadership and Integrity Committee of the IEBC. Remember that?
Yes, I did.
You also made her a member of Electoral Code of Conduct.
Yes.
You also made her a member of Recruitment Panel of the Commission.
Recruitment panel of?
The position for the recruitment panel for the CEO, the several vacancies of the commission.
Yes.
Yes. He also made a member of the Dispute Resolution Committee.
Yes.
And then finally, you appointed her to be a member of the Logistics and Welfare at the Bombers, the last. So these are just about 6. Sorry, I forgot. And you also made her the chair of Legal Committee.
Yes.
So basically, you gave her like 8, 9 committees.
In fact, for me, thank God she came because I was the only lawyer in the commission before then, and I was doing all that, including the legal committee.
Yeah.
So that she took over.
And we appreciate.
Yes.
So at least you made her sit in 9, 10 committees.
Yes.
Surely that cannot be a person who is incompetent by any stretch of imagination.
We can say, in terms of the commission operations, we worked very well. As up to that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, any allegation of incompetence, it must be wild imagination of anyone. Huh? I mean, any allegation. I'm just your comment.
I believe as up to the point where...
15 August, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go to the beginning, Chairman. Let's go to page 1 of your volume 1. The Gazette notice which you appointed yourself the returning officer. Sorry, not that one. Sorry. That's not the one, sorry. The volume of... yes, it's in your affidavit. Just I'm trying to get your affidavit. It's your first exhibit, I think. The Gazette noticed that you got you appointed as the 202. Sorry, yeah. Page 234 of volume 4. You have volume 4. Page 234. Simon, you can assist him. 234.
Which one is 234?
Volume 4.
Is 234 something else?
No, not 234. Sorry. My handwriting it shows like 234. It's actually 230, but someone has written 0 as 4. Page 230. But you can see it's not like 0. It's page 230. 230. You can see the Gazette notice at the bottom. Gazette notice Chairman of the Tribunal, is Gazette Notice number 4956. Mine is not clear. The copy Peter gave me. Gazette Notice number 4956.
Yes.
Chairman, there you've appointed yourself as the presidential returning officer pursuant to Article 88.4. Simon, just give him the constitution. Let him read Section 8, Article 88.4. Just read the constitution 88.4.
This says the Commission is responsible for conducting or supervising referenda and elections to any elective body or office established by this Constitution and any other election as prescribed by an Act of Parliament.
So there is no, it doesn't talk about presidential returning officer, that article, on the face of it.
Well, there
on the face of it,
there are other sections. You know,
no,
you have
we'll
to
go to those. We'll go to all of them.
read this document as a whole.
Chairman, we'll go to each of them. But I'm saying that particular one does not talk about returning officer.
It talks about the main function of the Commission, conducting elections and referenda.
Yeah, Chairman, so we understand, so we make our work easier. We, both of us are lawyers, and you're a senior lawyer. So, but when I'm asking questions, I'm asking as a witness. So what I'm just saying, on the face of it, it doesn't talk about a presidential returning officer, that article. Go to Article 137. What is it about? You don't have to read all of it, but what is Article 137?
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
A person qualifies for nomination of a presidential candidate if the person is a citizen by birth, is disqualified to stand for election as a member of parliament, is nominated by a political party or is an independent candidate, is nominated by not fewer than 2,000 voters.
It doesn't talk about...
And goes on and on.
Yeah, it doesn't talk about presidential returning officer. Yeah. Just go to 138.10.
138.10 says 138?
10.
10.
Yeah, Article 138, sub-Article 10.
It says within 7 days after the presidential election, the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission shall declare the result of the election, deliver written notification of the result to the Chief Justice and the incumbent president.
Then you have the Elections Act. Give him the Elections Act.
I don't have it.
Yeah. Peter will give you his copy. Just read what Section 33, what's about Section 33 of the Act?
Section?
33. You don't have to read just the title. What's about what the, like...
33, this is not the Election Act, this is IBC Act.
Okay, just keep the IBC Act, you'll see read the IBC Act. So IBC Act, we have to wait for the Election Act, read Section 4 of the IBC Act.
Functions of the Commission.
Yeah.
As provided for by Article 884 of the Constitution, the Commission is responsible for conducting or supervising referenda and elections to an elective body.
Without going through that
office.
section, in that section, is there any part in that Section 4 that talks about presidential returning officer?
Well,
no, on the face of
in
it,
so many words,
Chairman,
no.
Yeah, you know, I just need an answer, and then so get the Elections Act. Give him the Elections Act here, Simon. You don't have the Elections Act? I'll give you my copy, just 1 minute, in a minute. I'm surprised. It's somewhere here. It's here. given. The Elections Act, read section 33.
Section
33.
13.
33, 33.
33.
No, 33, 38 actually. This it's not clear. It's 38, 38. 38.
38, holding of elections. After notice of an election has been published in the Gazette under section 14, 15, 14, 16, 17, and 19, every returning officer shall proceed to hold the election according to the terms of the notice and in accordance with the regulations relating to elections.
And it sets out the return.
management by sending commissioners, including Commissioner Irene Masit, to Greece to oversight the process. So we were part and parcel of the whole process, and we played our oversight role.
On 6th of July, you announced the materials are coming on 7th of July.
Yes.
Do you know the date you sent the commissioners to Greece?
I don't have the dates, I can't remember.
It was 22nd of July.
There were various trips. There was an earlier trip done by Commissioner Masit, Commissioner Nyangaya, and Commissioner Professor. That was way before July. In fact, I think maybe around June. And then there was a second trip by Commissioner Wanderi and Vice Chair and other stakeholders, which was done later for presidential elections. So there were two distinct trips.
When you postponed the elections in some parts of the country, did you involve the commissioners?
We had a meeting.
Do we have the minutes, Chairman?
Do they have?
Will we one day get the minutes of that meeting that postponed the elections?
It was one of those meetings we had in Bomas, one of the many meetings that were not minuted.
So, Chairman, you meet from mundane issues, but when it comes to the real issues, real obligation, duties of IEBC, like postponing elections, we don't have minutes.
There could be minutes, I can't recollect.
Okay.
But I think the CEO, the custodian of minutes, can attest to that.
For any of those meetings in Bomas on 15th of August, do we have minutes of any of the meetings? Of all, you were there for about a week. Are there minutes of any of the meetings?
Yeah, there are some. I remember there were certain meetings which had minutes, like there were some meetings on ICT. There are some which have minutes. They can be produced.
You don't have a copy of Elections Act, yeah?
I don't have.
Peter, do you have a copy? You don't have? Okay, so give him mine. Just read 38 1C. Just give him. Just read section 38 1C. It's not a long one. Just read 38 1C. The one at the bottom. It's the sequencing of elections.
It doesn't have that 8 1C.
There's 1C there violated.
That 8 is just one small paragraph.
What section is what?
It talks of holding, unless you are talking about 39.
Yeah, 39 1C.
39 1C, for purposes of a presidential election, the Commission shall electronically transmit in a prescribed form the tabulated results of an election for the president from a polling station to the constituency tallying center and to the national tallying center. B, tally and verify the results received at the national tallying center. And C, publish the polling result forms on an online public portal maintained by the Commission.
And the next page, the role of the chairman.
1D?
Yeah, the one about the role of the chairman there is announcing, declaring the results. See, there is a next page. Is there
the chairperson.
Yeah.
1D, the chairperson of the Commission shall declare the results of the election of the president in accordance with Article 138(10) of the Constitution.
Yes, fine.
Before determining and declaring the final results of an election under subsection 1, the Commission may announce the provisional results of the election.
Just give me. So, Chairman, in a nutshell, the Elections Act gives a very sequential order of how presidential elections are held.
Yes.
Number one, the elections of the polling station
Yes.
are in the prescribed form.
Yes.
Form 34A.
Yeah.
Then from there, it goes to the constituency level in the prescribed form 34B. Then to the tallying center, NTC now at Bomas, where now you tally and verify the results. Tally and verify the results.
Yes.
And then the next sequence is you publish the results from 34C in the format on the online public portal. And then the last stage is the chairperson of the commission declares the results.
Yes.
Are we together with the sequencing?
Yep.
And you've given us your training manual. You remember your manual you gave us, the pathway, the elections pathway.
Yes.
So it's one of your own manual is that you must receive the actual fiscal forms, 34A and B, and for reconciliation for tallying and verification. So on 15th of August, had you received all these forms, 34A and B?
Yes, forms 34A, as we said, they were electronically transmitted to the portal.
Yes.
Almost, I think one or two, the ones which were not, a wrong form was transmitted, but about two did not go there. And then we had all the returning officers, the 290 constituencies had brought the fiscal form 34As to the Bomas of Kenya, and also we had the returning officer at 291 for diaspora had received all the returns from the diaspora. So by the morning of 15th, we had received all the 34As and Bs at the Bomas of Kenya.
Okay. So let's go to 15th of August, which is important for us. At 3 a.m. in the morning, when those three gentlemen came, how did you call the other commissioners? Were they just present? Were they around?
Yes, the commissioners were all over the floor of Bomas following up verification and tallying.
So how did you summon them?
I sent somebody to call them.
Physical, send someone to, how will you trace people all over the place?
I think the CEO was there. He just went and called them and they came.
So, by this time, 3 a.m., results, you didn't have the results.
The tallying and verification was still ongoing on the floor. Yes.
So again, what was the message from the three gentlemen? What did they want you to do?
They said we should consider declaring the Asmio presidential candidate as the winner, and in the worst case scenario, we look at a way of moderating results so that there's a runoff.
Chairman, you know you're a lawyer, you're the chairman of the commission. At 3 a.m., there were no results. No one, at least, no one, did you know who the winner was at 3 a.m. in the morning?
No, we had not been given the 34C.
So, how will a discussion to declare someone a president arise, Mr. Chairman? I want to understand.
So that's what they said. That was the message. That's what I heard.
Did Commissioner Irene Masit actually speak?
She spoke.
You remember?
Yes.
What were her words?
She said we should look at what the gentlemen have said seriously. We should consider.
Say consider.
The message, yeah.
Was Nyangaya present at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Another?
On that day, that 3 a.m. in the morning. Was he present?
Who?
Nyangaya.
To my recollection, all commissioners were present.
My information was that he was asleep. He hadn't even woken up. Are you sure he was there that day?
My recollection is that all commissioners were present.
I'm just wondering, if you can't remember that Nyangaya had actually not woken up, he was not there, how will you be able to remember what's Chairman? Because he'll come here one day, another sitting, he'll say that he was never there, and he will actually show he wasn't there that morning of 3 a.m., and you're saying he was there.
But what I recollect is all commissioners were present. I think that's my recollection, and that's what I've about.
Do you know the legal meaning of consider? Dictionary meaning of consider. You know, you're a lawyer. What does it mean to consider?
Well, it just means what it says, consider. I'll think about it. I need to take it seriously. I don't know the exact dictionary meaning, what's given in the dictionary.
Chairman, you know, as a lawyer, when when a layman says compound, it means compound.
Yeah.
But when a lawyer says compound, it means something else, compound. The same spelling, but different meaning. And consider, once the tribunal is done today's hearing, they'll go and consider this hearing. They'll go and consider.
You give some weight to, thought to something. I believe that's what it means. Yeah.
So the meaning of consider is not to particular decision, but to think through, ponder.
Yes, if the issue requires, so there are some issues you don't consider, like the discussions on at 3 a.m. in the morning. Those issues are not worth considering.
So at least, which you are correct. So at least at 3 a.m. we know there were no results. The next, when you met the next committee people, what time was it?
It was at 2 p.m. on 15th.
The NCSC people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, then advisory committee.
Yeah.
So at that time, again, you didn't have the results?
We had not received the Form 34C. It was still being printed by the CEO.
Yeah, so there were no results again?
We had not received the Form 34C, but all the results had been tallied and verified, all the constituencies.
You told us that this group of people, they looked threatening and they basically threatened you. I mean, you looked threatened, you felt threatened and intimidated.
No, they didn't look threatened. It's a message.
Oh, it's a message?
The message they carried. And they said we should look at them carefully to see the composition of who they were.
So, Chairman, you've been the chair for 5+ years, about 6 years, senior lawyer, and you felt threatened, or were threatening. My client has hardly been there for a year. So, from your own perception, how do you think she was feeling? Threatened, or she didn't care? I mean, because if the chairman is threatened, sure. What about the other commissioners?
It was, you have a team of people walking in with a message, and the message was such that, first, you don't expect such a message in a democracy, a country ruled by a rule of law.
And I agree with you on that, Chairman.
Yes, then the secondly, they're telling you this is a message from the National Security Advisory Committee. Of course, it's a threatening message, but as to whether I was threatened or not, I think is that your question?
No, you told me that, okay, maybe I rephrased it.
The message which was threatening.
Yeah, the message was threatening.
Yes.
To you.
But for me, I just did my work. Of course, I was not threatened.
I imagine I agree with you, Chairman, that you did your work. What I'm just saying is about the effect of the words that they were threatening. The words were threatening. That's what you said. The words were threatening.
Yes, because of the nature of the message and the team that came with it.
And I'm saying you, as being a chair for 6 years, and the words were threatening, so you can imagine the effects of the same words or the same people on Commissioner Irene Masidi, who has been there for just a year.
I think she can speak for herself.
Okay.
I don't know how she felt.
Your position,
Yeah.
By that time, we didn't have results. And Marjan walked in at first. Let's go back. When you appointed Guliye to be the head of the presidential tallying process and the other commissioners to various roles, did you have a plenary meeting with the commissioners?
We did not have a plenary meeting. I think we had possibly some informal meetings. But issues of appointment to tasks is basically, even for meetings, subcommittee meetings, it's somebody has to steer the ship. And
So-
as,
so
as
Chairman,
a
you don't-
chairperson, you must give guidance in any
So you
organization.
don't call the commissioners?
Yes.
They're only 6, and you tell them, I'm giving you this role, I'm giving you this role. Because my client tells me that she didn't even know until when they arrived in Bomas what role, what commission has been given. She got her own letter, and everyone got their own letter, and it was like confidential letter. So they didn't even know what roles they've been given. That's how you did it.
I assigned the commissioners' roles to which I believed would be help us to manage the bombers' operations, and I believe that each of them did their role. They didn't complain that I don't want to do this role, give me another role. Nobody complained.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
But you appointed Gulie and Marjan with CEO to be basically in charge of presidential elections, the tallying and the verification process, because you made them alternate team leaders, which is in law again is alternate is equal. It's basically co-equal. And Gulia admitted yesterday.
So what's the question?
So I'm saying,
Yes.
basically you made Marjan and Gulie have equal roles in the presidential tallying process.
They were co-chairs. What we needed at Bomas was a team that can deliver. As to Marjan is the CEO and professor, they each have a contribution. The Marjan manages the management, and the professor is a commissioner. So I don't think there was anything wrong with that.
Where were the offices at Bomas of Marjan and Gulia?
Offices.
Yeah. Where were they?
The
situated?
Boma's structure
Yeah.
is that there was no offices for commissioners. They were all sitting in one common room. There was only an office for Marjan and myself. So the commissioners were all sitting in the boardroom or in a VIP room.
Gulia told us he never announced the results because he was busy throughout.
He was?
He was busy in the tallying and the verification process. So where was he? Because he wasn't there. At least if we watch all these videos of bombers, we wouldn't see Gulia until the last day. So where was he all that time? What room was he in?
The bomber structure, within the main auditorium, there are holding rooms.
Yeah.
And then there's a VIP room.
Yeah.
So commissioners were oscillating between each of those rooms.
I'm asking about Gulia. Where was Gulia? Because he was a team leader for tallying and verification. Where was he situated?
I'm just telling you, there were no offices for commissioners. The way we have in anniversary towers, each commissioner with an office.
Yeah.
At Bomas, there were no offices for commissioners. We had the main auditorium, which is an open space, and a holding room, and that's where the commissioners were sitting, mainly in the holding room. It's only the CEO and myself who had an office now on the other side, the administrative block.
So, Chairman, you're telling us that when you had visitors at 3 a.m. in the morning, and when you're the National Security Advisory Council at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, you summoned the commissioners to come and meet visitors at 3 a.m. or 2 p.m.
Yes.
But you don't have the same diligence to summon commissioners to discuss the issue of tallying and verification of presidential elections, the actual work of the commission, to tell them, Commissioner, so and so, this is your role, this is your role. But to meet visitors, you call them from whatever they're doing to come and meet visitors at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Let me say this. The duties you are referring to were meant to prepare the tallying center for the tallying and declaration of results. Issues, the duties you are, but all commissioners participated in the tallying and verification, and they were free to go wherever they wanted within the premises. So it's issue. Now, when you say about allocation of duties, the chairperson, and in any organization, somebody has to allocate duties.
I agree.
And you cannot sit and discuss now. Everybody will say they want this particular function. Then you end up with a lot of problems. So as a chairperson, as a leader of an organization, you must steer the ship. You must allocate
We'll come to
duties.
that, Chairman, in a
Yes.
short while. So at 4 p.m. on 15th of August, you summoned the commissioners. Then Marjan walks in. In your own affidavit, you said he gave copies of the final results to each commissioner.
Yes.
That's what the affidavit says.
Yeah.
He gave copies to each commissioner of the results. And remember, Chairman, you're the chairman of IEBC.
Yes.
And you know the meaning of results is not the results of a screen. That's not what the law says. So is it your position still that Marjan gave every commissioner the results?
He handed over to me, then I passed copies to all the commissioners.
You said a copy to each commissioner. Is that your position, Chairman?
Yeah. Every commissioner was given a copy.
Copy of the results?
Copy
how many
of
pages?
the results.
Each commissioner was given how many pages of results?
How many?
Pages of results.
There was one from 34C. We printed one copy of about 450 pages or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And then the summarized version of the results.
So what copy did you, you said you gave a commissioner each copy. You know, that's English. You gave a commissioner each copy. So what copy did you give to each commissioner?
What copy?
Yes, it's a summary.
The summarized copy.
The 3-page copy.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to get you the copy. It's actually in the affidavit, but I want to give you the copy. You see it. It's a 3-page copy. Give him this one. Just confirm to the tribunal that this is the copy each commissioner. Is that the copy, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, this is the one.
That's the one.
Yep.
Yes, fine. So just let him have it. Look at just look at the information. Just tell the tribunal what the
we
information
better be
is there.
guided the page where that is.
Oh no, it's okay. It's in the affidavit. It's you said it, in the affidavit of one day. I'll give you just in a minute, Peter. Chairman, sorry, we're taking our time, but this is crucial because it's actually what's important for. It's volume 2, page 157. Mr. Chairman, yeah. So, just what is in the first column, like you'll see county name. So basically, this entire report is a summary of the counties only.
All the counties.
47 counties.
Yes. Some from the polling station, that's from 34A, is what translates into 34C.
So 34C in the law has 40, how many polling stations?
46,229 polling stations. That's what we had in...
And 290 constituencies and 47 counties.
Yes.
So it's basically what you're saying, it's about 400, 500 pages document.
Yes.
So the law says from 34C is supposed to be 500 pages. But here you're telling us that a 3-page document, which is a summary of counties only, is from 34C. And you've been maintaining throughout in your affidavit and in your evidence in the morning.
From 34C, which was printed, is over 400 pages, 450 pages. This is a summation of the document for purpose of discussion by the
Chairman, you know, we began by you telling us
yes,
compliance of the law is important, Chairman, and that's why I'm insisting. You've told us compliance of the law, and you've said that Commissioner Irene Masid broke the law. And I'm telling you now, the law is clear on what Form 34C is. Is that Form 34C, Chairman?
This is part of Form 34C.
No,
it's
I'm
a
saying,
summary
no.
of 34C. It's not 34C incomplete.
Chairman, I'm asking you, is that Form 34C?
I've answered you. It's not complete. Form 34C is a summation of 34S, and this then is a summary at the end.
Chairman, there's a format of Form 34C in the Elections Act, and I'm asking you again, Chairman, is that the format prescribed? It's the Elections Act says in the prescribed format. Is that the prescribed format of 34C?
This is a summary at the end of
No,
the
Chairman,
form.
I'm saying, is that the prescribed format?
The Form 34C itself is in the format prescribed. You can show me 34C if you have it here. It was...
yeah, I want to show you the Form 34C, how it
Yeah.
looks like. So we can... just give me a minute.
So that we can make progress. This is not Form 34, Form
That's what I need to
34C.
confirm only.
This is a summation at the end of Form 34C. It's
Yeah,
part
but-
of Form 34C.
It's part of, but it's not.
Yes.
It's not.
So,
oh.
and in your affidavit filed in the Supreme Court, Chairman, did you file Form 34C?
We filed, first of
In your
all,
affidavit?
yes, we submitted all the Form 34S, all Form 34Bs, and the entire Form 34C to the Supreme Court.
What I'm saying, Chairman,
Yes.
Chairman, in your affidavit, you refer to several documents. Is there any part of your affidavit that you've referred to 34C and annexed it? In your affidavit in the Supreme Court, not what you submit, but I'm saying in your affidavit. Even your lawyer can assist you. Show me one paragraph in there. There are 3 affidavits you filed in the Supreme Court. I just want one paragraph that you said, herewith annexed is Form 34C in the format prescribed in the Elections
There
Act.
was no need for that because prior, the law says immediately after an election petition is filed, the Commission must submit to the Supreme Court all the results in Form 34A, B, and C. And we had already submitted those documents to the Supreme Court.
You know,
So
Chairman,
there
as
was
a
no
lawyer,
need to annex them to my
you know, as a
affidavit.
lawyer, if you file an appeal, if there is no notice of appeal, there is no record of appeal without notice of appeal. It's the mandatory document. When it comes to presidential elections, unless there is Form 34C, where do you declare your results without Form 34C? It's a crucial document that is supposed to be in your affidavit.
I'm saying the documents were already filed to the Supreme Court in accordance with the law. And the Supreme Court deliberated that matter and arrived at a judgment on the 5th of September.
What time did you announce the results, Mr. Chairman? Presidential results, what time?
I don't remember the exact time, but it was around 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
On the 15th of August.
What time did you upload Form 34C in the format prescribed in the Elections Act in the IBC portal?
As tallying and verification was ongoing, Form 34C was automatically generated into the system and uploaded to the public portal.
You know, there's the populating and what have you, but
Yes.
the final Form 34C, it says, the Act says you publish the entire Form 34C before announcing the results. Did you ever upload the entire Form 34C before announce the results?
The sequence of events was that after the agents had signed the result from 34C, it was uploaded, and I think that then you can get evidence from the records in the server, but it was uploaded to the best of my knowledge.
My instructions, Chairman, is until today, we don't have Form 34C in the IBC portal.
And what I can say is that Form 34S, Form 34Bs, and the entire Form 34C was uploaded to the server. And the server kept on running until I think it was deactivated in end
You know,
of
there's a
November.
server and there's a
Yes.
portal. There's a server which is no one is accessing. But
A
I'm
portal
saying
is just
public
a-
portal. I'm saying the public can someone access? If we now we log on to IBC now, can we get the 34C in
The server,
format?
the public portal is actually a server, runs on a server. And all the forms were uploaded through the August period, September, October, November, and maintaining the server being an expensive affair, I think the commission deactivated it at the end of November because it requires a lot of money to maintain the firewalls. So if you logged in now, it will not be there, but it was there up and running until November.
We can always get
30th November, and that evidence is there.
So you're saying there's evidence that it was actually uploaded on the system?
All the forms.
Not the forms, not the forms. You know the law says...
And that 4C was not just uploaded, but shared again with, hard copies were shared with all the presidential candidates and their agents subsequent to the declaration, during declaration and after. So they were uploaded and they were shared. So those documents are out there.
So the meetings again of 3 a.m. and 2 p.m., there were no results. Peter likes saying that I like legal maxims, law maxims. You know the maxim, ex nihilo nihil fit.
Sorry?
Ex nihilo nihil fit. Nothing comes out of nothing. So if there were no results, there was nothing to be moderated. There was nothing to be discussed.
Well, that's your opinion, but the commissioners were part and parcel of the process, and the exercise has been completed.
I'm saying that is, that's a legal principle. Nothing comes out of nothing. By the way, the results that the commissioners kept going to read to the public, you're aware they were handwritten. They were never typed.
Well, the process, just to take you back, the Form 34S came with the returning officer together with 34B, and where there were a bit of errors in the Form 34B, it was corrected, and before posting into populating the Form 34C. So where there were those corrections, I think that could be on the Form 34B. And that's where the handwritten issue may be coming in. But whatever was written was in agreement with agents and the teams that were on the.
No, but I'm saying they were just handwritten for the record. They were not.
Not all of them, but
most of them.
A number of them.
Just to go back, when you've been with the three commissioners, Molu and Gulia, for basically 6 years. So you had built a kind of a comradeship with the three of them. When the four joined you in September, did you do anything to bond the groups, the two groups, to gel? Did you create a unified commission?
About comradeship, I don't know. We were just working.
It's public perception. It's public knowledge, Chairman, that we always saw the three of you and the other four were together. The three of you were separate. So I don't know. Maybe it's public perception. We have it wrong.
I don't know where you saw. In the commission, we worked together, and as your client, everybody we were free with each other, and we took all the trouble to ensure that the new commissioners were up to speed, including. But
did you gel the groups? Did you try to create one unified commission?
We had various retreats. Yeah. We had trainers. We bonded and we gelled, and we took them through the process of elections, which it's documented.
When you finished reading the results on 15th of August, you told us, the other commissioners said they went to hide. Did you also go to hide?
No, I went to my house, and I was in my house throughout. I didn't go to hide anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know Peter Chelanga? Have you met him, a person called Peter Chelanga?
No, I've not met Peter Chelanga.
When you had the issue of the materials at the airport, when they were seized, the materials, the election materials, and somewhat it was resolved, you didn't have a role in the resolution of the... Okay. Let me ask a blunt question. Did you meet the president to resolve the issue?
On which materials?
When they were seized at the airport from those Venezuelans or what? There were some materials you have seized at the airport, which was public knowledge.
Yes.
Did you meet the president to resolve it?
No, I didn't meet the president, but the issue was resolved.
When the Venezuelans were arrested, did you meet the president?
During that time?
Yes.
When?
The Venezuelans were arrested.
No, I did not meet the president.
Did you talk to him?
No, I didn't talk to the president.
And the materials were seized, did you talk to him?
No.
But they were somewhat resolved.
I spoke with the Director of Criminal Investigations and the Inspector General of Police on those issues.
As I say again, Chairman, all this is one day will come out, how it was done. But for now, we'll just leave it like that. When did you know, at what point did you know the results were out, were ready to be announced?
At what point?
Yes, what time of the day?
What time, when Marjan brought them, I can't tell
So
the
this
exact time, but
it's
it was
about 4
around, maybe around 4 p.m. or thereabouts.
So this was 15 August. 15 of August.
Yes, 15th
Yeah.
of August.
When did you send out invites? With what date?
The invites for
the-
declaration was...
No.
Yeah.
To the presidential candidates, to either both or one of them, to attend the results.
I think that was done in the morning when we had finished with the verification and tallying. Then we invited them to come at 3, hoping that we've gone through all the other processes by then.
My information, Chairman, and I've seen the documents, that you can send invites on 12th of August. Can you remember?
Sorry, I didn't
You
get
send
it.
invites on 12th of August.
I don't think that's true. The invites must be dated. If they're here, you can
You
show
gave
me the
approval
one.
on your
You can
approval
show
was
me
12th
the
of
one you are
August.
referring to.
You gave approval on 12th of August.
I don't remember that.
We'll ask again. We'll know. Chairman, do you know the 4 petitioners who have filed to remove, who filed this petition initially? There is Reverend Dennis Nzumbi, Geoffrey Langat, War Steve Jerry, and is the other guy, the chairman of the other party, is called Volume 1. Zakaria Matayo.
I don't know them personally.
Have you met them?
No, except I think from what I've seen on TV, I think I can maybe pick out a few faces in this room now, but I have not met them before.
So just finally, so you're not a witness of these 4 people?
They are not the ones who brought me.
you were
I was
invited
brought
by
here
friend.
by
By the tribunal.
Yeah, tribunal.
Just for the record, so we know
Yes,
that.
I was invited by
Yeah.
the tribunal.
So you do not play any part in preparing the 4 petitions filed in National Assembly? Did you play any part in preparing the petitions?
No, I did not.
Were you aware of them?
I was only aware when the matters went before the parliament.
But you were not aware before?
No.
Finally, Chairman, do you have confidence in the Supreme Court as an institution of this country, established by the Constitution of Kenya? Do you have confidence in our Supreme Court?
Yes, I do. Well, it's part of the rule of law, and we respect the judiciary, not just the Supreme Court, but all the courts as an arm of government.
And do you have confidence in this tribunal set up by the Constitution and Article 251?
Yes, I do.
So last week when you were presenting your final post-election evaluation report, I mean, I watched you in the media again, I heard you in the media, you were calling for establishment of commission of inquiry.
Yes.
On the election dispute.
Yes.
I have read your report, the post-election report. Nowhere in the report have you made any allegation, have you made any adverse findings on the process. even in your forwarding letter, in the covering letter in the report. So I just want to understand, in what context did you now go outside the report and outside your own covering letter in the report to call for establishment of a commission of inquiry? Is it that you didn't trust or you didn't like the Supreme Court judgment, or you don't have faith in this tribunal? I just want to understand the context, because you know this process is ongoing. You knew the Supreme Court decision. So what was it that made you ask for commission of inquiry?
We ran a transparent election, I believe, free, fair, transparent election. And if you notice from the last 3 elections we have had, 2013, 2017, under the new constitution, we've been improving gradually. In the last election, everything went well except the incidents at Bomas and also in some areas like Narok and other counties where there was some violence. And where I sit, as I leave the commission, I believe that we should never have a repeat of those incidents. We must get to the root of it to ensure that that doesn't. That's the only problem we have as a country, that those incidents happen. And I believe a commission of inquiry would perhaps be the best way. And not just me, the commission actually wrote to the president to look into how that can be set up.
But
yes.
you know, Chairman, what I'm saying as we conclude this thing is, we had our worst election violence in 2007. Our elections were nullified in 2017. Our elections were upheld in 2022, and the Supreme Court said they were excellent elections. So I want to understand the context and your motivation in asking for a commission of inquiry in 2022, which Supreme Court found was near perfect, and not calling for 2017 inquiry, 2007, or is your memory limited, or, I mean, historical memory is limited?
Well, I don't understand the question.
I'm saying we've had worse situation. We have 2017, which we chaired, which was nullified, and there was violence in 2017. We had very limited violence in 2022, but they're very limited. But you call for commission of inquiry in 2022. So if you're saying, as you've claimed yourself by that, you know, under the Evidence Act, when you claim, you take the high road section of the Evidence Act, your own integrity must be put into question as a witness. So you've called for commission of inquiry to 2022 elections when there was no violence. We didn't have much killings. We had killings in 2007, and we had elections nullified in 2017. You were the chairman in 2017. If you are riding the high moral, I mean, you're working on the high moral ground basically, and asking for elections commission of inquiry for 2022, should have had the same courage to ask from 2017 until now. Why didn't you ask from 2017 until 2022?
There was no violence in 2017. What we are talking about here is violence. We are talking about individuals attempting to subvert the will of the people. None of these issues were there earlier. And this can only be unearthed in,
Chairman, under your watch,
a situation
2017,
like this one.
People were actually killed in your commission. 2019, there were threats, even on you. So you should have asked for actual commission of inquiry for 2017 and 2022. I'm saying, if you, following your sequence of thought, you cannot be selective on 2022 and not 2017. Chairman, just before I conclude, just before I leave you, I don't want to, the final issue. The Supreme Court judgment, my last issue, Supreme Court judgment, actually voided Regulation 87 that you kept using to run a one-man show at the IBC. You remember the regulation was nullified by the Supreme Court judgment, 2022?
Yes.
And the Supreme Court in its finding again, Chairman, they read your affidavits, your 3 affidavits. They read the affidavits of all the other commissioners. And they came to the conclusion that the dispute between the 3 of you and the other 4 commissioners was a boardroom dispute. They had your issues in the affidavit about the 3 a.m. meetings, 2 p.m. meetings, about the press conference of Serena. The Supreme Court had all those issues, and they reached a finding. So as a chair, as a lawyer, you filed 3 affidavits before the Supreme Court, and you made all those allegations. You gave the Supreme Court all the documents which we've not been provided for. And the Supreme Court did not find anything wrong with the conduct of the 4 commissioners. They don't even find anything wrong with the other 3 commissioners. They don't find anything wrong with the IBC as a whole. The only thing they found was that it was internal issue, it was administrative dispute, which should be fixed by the commission. So why do you still want Commissioner Irene Masit to be followed for the events of 15 August when the Supreme Court already had it and determined it?
Well, as I said, the Supreme Court had 9 issues for determination. 9. And all those issues were dealt with. There was no issue as to the governance structures of the IABC. If there was, then we could have filed a relevant affidavit to that effect. But having said so, I think the recommendations of the Supreme Court is what informs part of the post-election evaluation, and I believe those issues will be addressed by the incoming commission.
Chairman, have you read of the judgment, paragraphs 2008 to 244 of the judgment of the Supreme Court? They actually made findings on the affidavits.
Yes, I'm saying the issues for determination. As a council, you know, we answer to the issues for determination. And the issue about how the commission is governed was not one of the issues. If it was, we would have filed relevant documentation to give the Supreme Court a chance to make a finding on whether the commission follows those governance structures or not. And I believe those findings could not have been the same if we had that opportunity to put the documentation before the Supreme Court.
My understanding of the judgment is that they actually reached conclusions on the conduct of the commissioners, the 7 commissioners, and made findings in paragraph 243, and the last final findings of the judgment. So again, I'm asking, if the Supreme Court had your affidavit, let's say again, let me agree with you that they did not reach a finding on it, but they had your affidavit in which you set out the disputes. You set out the meetings of 3 a.m. in the morning, or 2 o'clock Serena conference. So if there was anything wrong with those incidences, why didn't the Supreme Court decide on them? And the evidence before them?
I think that's for the Supreme Court to say. I don't know what the judges considered or did not consider, but all I know is that all those affidavits were filed around the same time on 26th, 27th, and there was no time for filing further affidavits and rebuttals and so forth because of the limited time we were given. So I believe we put what we could in terms of focusing on the issues that had been set for determination.
No, because when you spoke initially, Chairman, you were so into the word can say emotional about it, that there was like breach of the Constitution. There was like an intention to subvert the will of the people. When did you file your affidavit?
To the Supreme Court?
Yes.
I think they were done on the 26th
of August.
Of August.
The incidents you're referring to are 15th of August. You had 2 weeks to do, about 11 days to do the affidavit. So if you are so minded that there was an intentional will to subvert the Constitution or to the will of the people, because you set it out in the affidavit, and it was dealt with by the Supreme Court. So my issue is that why is it being revisited? It has been dealt with by the Supreme Court. It should be with finality. Do you have an issue against Commissioner Irene? You don't want to sit in the commission?
I'm here on invitation of counsel for the tribunal. And what I came to say is that what I said in the affidavit is true to the best of my knowledge on events that happened. As for Commissioner Masit, what I've said is what she said, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes.
Re-examination.
Yes, I'll have five issues to re-examine. Mr. Chebukati,
Yes.
at the beginning of cross-examination, you did indicate, you asked whether you had any issues with Commissioner Irene Masit, and then there's one specific issue you picked but you didn't explain. You said that you had an issue she had filed cases against the commission. Kindly clarify.
Sorry,
When you were being asked whether you had any challenge or a problem with Commissioner Irene Masit,
yes.
you made a comment and said we had a case, they filed affidavits against the commission. Kindly clarify what you mean and what was the issue here.
About the commissioner filing affidavits,
Yes, against the commission.
in the presidential election petitions 2022, the governments, the Commissioner Masit filed an affidavit where she deponed to the effect that she didn't agree with the election results and they should be nullified, and made various allegations which in my view are not true about the commission.
Did the commission sanction that of it?
No.
Those facts?
No, we did not.
You say they were not true.
They were not true.
Right. Second issue, page 230 of volume 4. I am aware you are not a party in this matter, but it has a gazette notice. Was it ever challenged, set before court or anything by Commissioner Irene Masit or anyone?
No issue was raised about this gazette notice until it's today I'm hearing, and I think when matters went before the Supreme Court. But the commissioners did not raise any issue.
Even in your sittings, did she ever raise any issue about these notices at all?
Absolutely not. No issue was raised about it.
It's the first time you're hearing.
Yes.
Right. Third, there's an issue raised about allocation of duties to different commissioners and staff of the commission.
Yes.
Was the Commissioner Irene Masit allocated? Did she challenge or raise issues before today?
As I mentioned, the only issue was she did not want to work with Commissioner Wanderi. When that was resolved, she continued with her duties as
Happily.
allocated.
Thank you.
Yes.
Second last question. There are so many questions raised on forms, right? Form 34C. And Mr. Kip Correll, counsel for Commissioner Masit, mentioned paragraph 208 to 244 of the judgment, and he mentioned it. 244A, there was a clear finding. He mentioned 244. Did the court make a finding on those issues in 244A? If yes, what?
Yes, 244A, where the court said we are satisfied as a finding that notwithstanding the divisions apparent between the chairperson and the 4 commissioners, IEBC carried out the verification, tallying, and the declaration of results in accordance with Article 138, 3C, and 10 of the Constitution. That was the finding.
So that issue settled?
Yes.
Right. The last thing, paragraph 8 of that judgment, you mentioned about the issues before the Supreme Court. Jasim, the first paragraph 8 of that judgment. Remember, when you're being asked whether you have confidence in the Supreme Court,
Yes.
or this tribunal, you've mentioned that there were 9 issues. Now, clarify, are those the issues that are set in paragraph 8 of the judgment? And do they relate with the issue before the tribunal, this tribunal?
I go through them.
Are they, no, just confirm whether they're the ones.
Yes, they are the ones. These are the 9 issues before the Supreme Court, which were canvassed before the Supreme Court.
Right. What about, is the issue before the tribunal part of those? Well, also, was it part of the issues that were before?
The issue about?
Before this tribunal?
No, it's not part of these 9 issues.
It is not part of those 9 issues.
Yes.
Many thank you, and thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members. I would leave it at that unless the tribunal members have any question.
Mr. Chebukati, we thank you for finding time to be with us, and wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you. To leave, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members. On behalf of this part, we wish to say we are grateful for the indulgence and the time taken in all our witnesses. We believe we've set out good grounds, and we would wish to close it at that point and push it to Mr. Donald Kipkorir.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, we are also grateful for the opportunity. And once Peter closes his case, us also are closing our case.
Thank you. Thank you to each one of you. We will, I think on behalf of the
Chair, probably I needed, sorry, I'm cutting you. For good order, would be glad if this is on record that he's closing his case and also is not calling any witness. So that is on record for submissions.
Donald Kipkorir is a seasoned lawyer. Once he says he's closing his case, it means he's not calling evidence. I understand you right, Counsel?
That's correct. There is no other explanation. There is no other interpretation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I was saying that on behalf of the members of the tribunal, we wish to thank the respective sides led by Mr. Mungia and Mr. Kipkorir, and also thank the Commissioner for being with us throughout. We must now decide how to move on from here. I'll be expecting that within how much time we file written submissions, starting with you, Mr. Munge. And
thank you, Chair. And from where I sit, and I must be grateful to my team, Madam Zamzam, Abib and team. We've been burning the midnight oil, and we have our submissions ready. We'd just require a day or maximum 2, because maximum 2 days.
Yes.
We'll be able to do our final submissions. We are ready. We'll just need to put the input of today's witness. I initially thought I'll take a day, but let me ask for 2 days. Today is Tuesday. By close of business Thursday, we'll have filed and served.
Okay. Donald?
Yeah, Chairman, just for background maybe sake, what happened? This is the first hearing in this country since, on issues relating to Article 251 or similar articles before. And what this tribunal is going to determine will basically lay the foundation for similar future hearings. So this, you later set the bar high or low, which depending on how whatever it comes out. And as for that, I need sufficient time to do my submissions. When we had our last meeting, I indicated I needed 14 days. I will not expand. I will have asked for more time, 21 days, but I'll stick on the 14 days we had agreed in the meeting. But I want 14 days to run from the time I receive Peter's submissions and the Hansard report. As you see, I wasn't making notes because my understanding was that there is a dictaphone and there is an answered report. So I needed the answered report and for the proceedings and then the submissions. Then I'll do my submission within 14 days from receipt of both.
How soon will the Hansard report be ready?
Mr. Chair, we have the Hansard report. We just require the last 2 days. It will probably take another 2 days for...
Another?
Another 2 days from today.
Yeah, okay.
Chairman, just before you
Yes,
give
yes,
the
yes.
elections, just to, I'm a student of history. The last impeachment in England happened in 18th century actually, Warren Hastings. It took 8 years. And it was the last impeachment in England. So as we are within...
When I smile, it appears to be giving you some impression.
No, I'm just telling you that...
You've asked for 14 days.
No,
Wait, you've asked for 14 days. The members have said they'll give you 14 days. So you are reading too much into nothing.
no.
Yes, yes.
No, I was just telling
So-
history. I was just telling history that the impeachment actually of England took 8 years.
Yes. This history that you've read, we've also read. So it's fine. If you'll be ready within 2 days from today, that means by Thursday, you provide the Hansard copy to Mr. Kipkorir. And Mr. Munge, you are saying that you may not need that. You've been taking notes or something. So that you'll be ready by end of Thursday.
We are talking, my team has been very efficient. We've been working on it, we've been taking notes, we are good.
Every time you say your team has been efficient, you must be saying that...
Chairman,
No.
I want to respond to Peter.
Yes.
Because when he talks about being efficient, Peter is part of the tribunal, which is a fact. So maybe he has access to the dictaphone, the answer report in advance, which I don't have access to. I don't have an issue with it, by the way, because it's part of the team. I don't have an issue with him getting access to the answer.
No,
it's not an issue.
Yeah. The resources available to him for purposes of this tribunal would not be available to you. So that when you ask for 14 days, we will give you 14 days. Okay? And so, but it's when does time begin to run? So by Thursday evening, you get your submissions and copy of the Hansard. Now, so the next, the next question would be, would you require oral highlighting, or you will, once you give us your submissions, we will be through with that part of the hearing?
Mr. Chairman, I prefer we do the written and then we highlight maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know.
I hear him, and my Lord, Mr. Chair and members, I think what was pushing me to 2 days, and my team is just reminding me, was a provision of Rule 21.
Rule?
21.
That?
And Rule 21 says that the report of the tribunal and its recommendations shall be delivered on a date affixed for that purpose, but not later than 7 days after completion of the hearing.
we must read hearing to mean
Submissions is hearing.
submissions and the highlighting of submissions.
Yeah, that's hearing.
So that's fine. That's
Then I stand guided.
Thank you. So that calculate 14 days from Thursday, because then we must convene for purposes of highlighting. So it means that by the time we then come for highlighting, you'll have not only completed your submissions, but you also have served. Okay? But time begins to run from Thursday. Yes.
No, I think so that we don't fall foul of the law. We come for the highlighting maybe some days after we've filed our submissions. So that we...
No, I must accommodate you and accommodate him.
Yeah.
I've accommodated you, isn't it? 14 days. So on the 15th day, we come back for highlighting. That's what I'm saying. So those who are calculating, so on 9th February at 10, we'll schedule for highlighting. Mr. Munge will go first, and then you will go second, and then he'll have the usual second bite at the cherry, isn't it? But then how much time? You proposed 10 minutes, but that's...
15 minutes each. 15, and then rebuttal.
Okay, 30, then 10 minutes. Fine? Thank you. So once again, thank you very much.
Chair, before you pen off.
Yes.
Before you pen off, I had sought for a copy of the answer at the ruling. I don't know if the chair can pronounce himself on timelines when we are able to get it, so that we can seek redress as urgent as possible.
I will communicate with you. The Hansard should be ready. It's Hansard, isn't it? For his purpose, for the purpose of the application, but the ruling should be ready latest. Today is Thursday.
Much obliged.
Latest Thursday.
Much obliged.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.